What's up internet, I am Manish from RebellionRider.com and I am back once again with another PL SQL tutorial. So far we have seen how to create table based and cursor based record data type variables. The one that is left is the user defined record data type, which we are going to cover in today's tutorial. Yes, in today's PL SQL tutorial, we will learn what is user-defined record variable as well as how to create a user-defined record data type variable in Oracle database. So without wasting much of your time, let's start the tutorial. As the name suggests, user-defined records are the record variables whose structure is defined by the user, which is unlike the table-based or cursor-based records whose structures are derived from their respective tables or cursor. This means that with user-defined records, you can have complete control over the structure of the record variable. The creation process of user-defined record variable is divided into two parts. Before defining the record, we first need to define the type for the record variable. This type will become the base for the user-defined record variable and will help in driving its structure. Once the type is successfully declared, then we can use it for creating our user-defined record variable. Let's quickly take a look at the syntax for creating the user-defined record variable in Oracle database. That is the syntax for creating the type for the record variable, which starts with the keyword type followed by the type name, which is completely user-defined. Next to that, we have a reserved phrase is record. Followed by that, we have field names along with their data types enclosed into the parenthesis. Every field except the last one is separated from each other using comma. Once we have our type declared, we are all set to create a record variable. This variable will then acquire all the properties of the type using which it is created. And here is the syntax for creating the user-defined record data type variable. You simply have to write the name of your record variable, which is again user defined, which means you can give whatever name you want to your record variable, followed by the type name. That's all you have to do. Did you notice that unlike the table-based or cursor-based record variable, we do not have to use %row type attribute here for declaring the record variable? That is the syntax for creating a user-defined record data type variable. So now, as we have understood the syntax for creating user-defined record data type variable, it's time to move ahead and do an example which will help you in understanding the concept more clearly. So let's do the example. Here I have declared the type for the record variable with name rv_dept. This type has two fields that are fname and dname. The field fname is of varchar2 data type and this field will hold the first name of the employee. The next field dname will hold the department name of the employee and it is of anchored data type. You can refer to my PL SQL tutorial 4 for more detail on anchored data type. Find the link in the description. Now, let's create the record variable using the type rv_dept. Here we have our record variable. This is a record variable based on type rv_dept which we just declared. Next, I will complete this PL SQL block and write the execution section. In the execution section, we will have a select statement which will be joining employees table and departments table and returning the first name and department name of the specific employee. Let's do it. So here we are. The select statement which we have here will return the first name and the department name of the employee whose employee ID is 100. The data for both the columns are coming from different tables, thus we used a join here. Though the select statement is very simple, but for the demonstration purpose it does the work. As there are two different tables involved in the query, thus in such situation use of table-based record variable is not possible. The viable solution is the user-defined record variable. So now let's try to execute this PL SQL block and see whether it works or not. And here we have the result. So that is how we create user-defined record data type variable in Oracle database. That's it for today's tutorial on what are user-defined record data type variables and how to create them. Hope you enjoyed watching and learned something. If so, then please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You can also help others in learning as well as support me and my channel by sharing this video on your social media with your friends. Stay tuned as I will be back soon with another interesting PL SQL tutorial for you. Thanks for watching. This is Manish from RebellionRider.com.